Love, lies, and murder, the chilling reality of online dating deception. In a world where love can be found with a simple swipe, we've opened the door to something else, something far more dangerous. Behind every smiling profile picture, every charming message, and every promise of forever, there could be a predator, waiting for someone to believe. This is the chilling reality of online dating deception, a world where hope meets horror and where loneliness becomes the weapon that kills. Over 300 million people around the world use online dating apps every year. For many, it's where love stories begin, but for others, it's where nightmares are born. The screen acts as both a shield and a mask. You can be anyone, say anything, and craft a version of yourself so believable that even the most cautious heart begins to trust. Experts call it the illusion of intimacy. You chat daily, share secrets, laugh, fall asleep talking, but behind the words might not be the person you think. It began like many love stories do. In 2016, Angela Martin, a 34-year-old nurse from California, joined a dating app after years of focusing on her career. She met Michael Hayes, a man who said he was a civil engineer from Seattle. He was handsome, successful, and attractive. He sent good morning texts, remembered her favorite songs, talked about the future. After months of chatting, he claimed to be overseas on a work project and needed a small favor, a loan until his next paycheck. Angela hesitated, but love blinds the cautious. She wired $2,000, then another $5,000. Weeks passed. No return, no calls. Then, silence. The number was disconnected. Her messages never delivered. When she searched his name, she found nothing. No records, no company, no Michael Hayes. Angela wasn't just heartbroken. She was humiliated. The man she loved never existed. She was one of thousands who fell victim to a romance scam, an elaborate form of emotional and financial manipulation. Romance scams aren't random. They are organized, calculated, and often international. FBI reports show that in 2024 alone, Americans lost over $1.3 billion to online romance fraud. The perpetrators, sometimes operating from scam farms, study victims, track their routines, and use psychological profiling to create the perfect fantasy. They don't just steal money, they steal trust, dignity, and sometimes even lives. The scammers' words are rehearsed, refined, and emotionally strategic. They mirror your language, your humor, your dreams, until you're convinced it's destiny. Not all deception happens behind a computer screen. Sometimes the person is real, and that's what makes it even deadlier. In 2019, Grace Mullane, a 42-year-old British backpacker, met a man named Jesse Kempson through Tinder while traveling to New Zealand. Their conversation seemed harmless. He was charming, polite, and seemed genuinely interested. They met for drinks on December 1st. CCTV captured their laughter, their smiles. But what happened next shocked the world. Grace was found dead in a hotel room the next day. Kempson had strangled her and then gone on another date just hours later, pretending nothing had happened. This wasn't an isolated case. Since 2011, over 400 homicides worldwide have been linked to encounters originating from dating apps. It raises a dark question. How well can you ever truly know someone you met online? Investigators say online predators follow a pattern, a psychological script. Hook. They present an idealized version of themselves. Bond. They mirror the victim's emotions and experiences. Control. They isolate, manipulate, and gain trust. Exploit. They take money, secrets, or safety. Disappear. They vanish, leaving behind emotional carnage. But what makes victims so vulnerable? Experts point to emotional isolation and digital dependency. In a world where connection feels scarce, people cling to anyone who listens, even if the voice belongs to a lair. When Melissa Raines met Derek on Bumble, he was everything she wanted. A single father, a firefighter, a good man. For 2 years, they dated. He introduced her to colleagues, shared photos from work, even FaceTime from what looked like a fire station. Then one evening, Melissa received a message from a stranger. Are you the woman dating my husband? Derek wasn't a firefighter. He was a married man with 2 children and dozens of online profiles. Melissa's world collapsed overnight. She discovered he had manipulated multiple women, each convinced they were the only one. He used stolen photos from a real firefighter's Instagram account, carefully edited to maintain his illusion. For Melissa, it wasn't about money. It was about identity theft of the heart. She said in an interview, "He didn't steal my wallet. He stole my reality." Psychologists studying digital deception say scammers and pathological liars share one thing in common: narcissistic empathy. They can simulate empathy, mimic concern, and say the right words, but feel none of it. To them, love is a tool. Dr. Helen Fisher, a biological anthropologist, notes that online deception triggers the same dopamine circuits as falling in love, making it neurologically addictive. Victims experience real attachment, even when the love is fabricated. That's why so many refuse to believe the truth. Even when evidence is undeniable available, they still won't believe it because they're addicted to the sweet lies they hear. Not every victim survives the heartbreak. In 2022, a 52-year-old woman from Texas, identified as Claire, took her own life after discovering her online boyfriend of 4 years never existed. The man she thought was a U.S. soldier in Syria was actually a group of scammers in another country using stolen photos. When her daughter read their messages, she found hundreds of love notes, promises of marriage, of reunion, of forever. Her suicide note read, "I believed in love more than myself." These tragedies reveal a haunting truth. For many, online deception isn't just financial fraud, it's emotional homicide. But some refuse to stay victims. Across the world, a growing number of catfish hunters are taking matters into their own hands. Digital detectives using social media traces to expose imposters. One of them, Nev Schulman, turned his experience of being catfished into the hit MTV series Catfish, shedding light on this hidden epidemic. Private investigators now specialize in digital forensics, tracing fake accounts to real IP addresses. Yet for every scammer caught, 10 new ones are born. The anonymity of the internet remains the perfect breeding ground for deceit. Experts advise watching for red flags that often signal deception. They move too fast, talking about love or marriage early. Their stories contain inconsistencies. They avoid video calls or in-person meetings. They claim to be overseas or in the military. They ask for money, favors, or personal documents. If you ever feel your instincts whisper, "Something is off," listen. In the world of online dating, hesitation can save your life. In 2018, the world met Simon Leviev, a man who lived like royalty. Private jets, five-star hotels, diamond-studded watches, all flaunted on social media. He told women he was the son of a billionaire diamond mogul. He said he was being hunted by enemies, that he needed quick cash for protection. Dozens of women across Europe sent him hundreds of thousands of dollars. In reality, Simon wasn't a billionaire's son. He was Shimon Hayut, an Israeli con artist funding his lavish lifestyle through a pyramid scheme of emotional manipulation, using one victim's money to impress the next. Netflix's The Tinder Swindler exposed how charm, confidence, and lies can become the perfect weapon. It wasn't just a scam, it was a performance. For survivors, the hardest part isn't recovering money, it's learning to trust again. Therapists describe a form of PTSD known as betrayal trauma. Victims replay every message, every photo, every "I love you," trying to pinpoint when the lie began. But deception doesn't have a timestamp. One survivor, after losing over $100,000 to a fake online partner, told her therapist, "I wasn't stupid, I was lonely." That's the painful irony of online dating deception. It preys not on greed, but on human vulnerability. Beneath mainstream dating apps lies something even darker: romance for hire schemes, where groups on the dark web sell scripts and stolen identities for aspiring scammers. They share playbooks with lines like, "Compliment daily," "Mention parents to build trust," fake video calls using deepfake filters. Yes, deepfake romance is now a thing. Artificial intelligence can recreate real people's faces and voices to sustain lies for months, even years. Technology meant to bring people together is now used to tear them apart. Yet amid the deception, real love still exists online. Thousands of couples meet, fall in love, and build families through apps. But awareness is the armor we need. Knowing the dangers doesn't mean giving up on love. It means protecting it. The internet can connect heart or destroy them. The difference lies in caution, awareness, and self-worth. In the age of digital romance, deception wears a friendly face. We scroll through profiles searching for connection, but sometimes what we find is the predator behind the promise. The victims of online dating deception are not fools. They are dreamers, people who believe that love could be found through a screen. And maybe it still can. But as long as love lives online, so will the lie. Please, if you have personal experience with online romance scam, please put it at the comment section to educate others so we keep creating awareness together to save others. Kindly like, share, and comment your thoughts about this story. Thank you.